Fairness is a fairy tale we tell children to get them to share their toys. In the real world, fairness is often a comforting belief for the defeated. Look at the people who actually run the world. The billionaires, the generals, the influential power brokers. Do you think they got there by always playing fair? Do you think they waited for their turn? No, they found shortcuts. They understood that while the masses are fighting for scraps using the rules of morality, the masters are operating on a completely different level. You are watching this because you are tired. You are tired of working hard and seeing careless people get promoted. You are tired of being the good guy and finishing last. You sense that there is a hidden back door to success that no one is showing you. You are right, there is. I'm going to hand you the keys to that back door. I'm going to give you 7 ruthless rules of strategic thinking. These are not hacks. These are psychological frameworks. They will give you an advantage so strong that people will call it luck. They will call it talent. They will call it unfair. Good, let them. Rule 1, the Sinigaglia strategy. Total removal of resistance. Most men fight wars of attrition. They argue. They compete. They struggle against their rivals day after day, wearing themselves down. This is the strategy of the fool. Cesare Borgia, the historical figure most associated with the ruthless. Strategies later analyzed by Robert Greene, did not fight attrition. He fought decisive unfair battles. In 1502, Borgia's captains revolted against him. They were powerful, dangerous men. They had armies. Borgia could have gone to war with them. He could have fought them on the battlefield, risking his money, his men, and his reputation. It would have been fair. He didn't. Instead, he offered them a truce. He offered them money. He offered them higher ranks. He played the role of the forgiving, weakened leader. He soothed their egos. He made them feel safe. He invited them to a feast in the city of Sinigaglia to celebrate their new alliance. The moment they walked into the room, smiling and unguarded, Borgia gave a signal. His guards stepped out of the shadows. He removed every single one of them from power. In 1 hour, he accomplished what would have taken 10 years of war. This is the lesson. Never fight a battle you can win through strategy. You are trying to outwork your competition. You are trying to be better than them. Stop. You need to identify the threat and outmaneuver it before the competition even begins. How does this apply to you in a modern office, in a business? If you have a rival, do not argue with them in meetings. Do not try to outshine them with louder ideas. That is the battlefield. Instead, make them feel safe. Agree with them. Praise them. Draw them close. Let them lower their guard. And then when they are comfortable, you let them make the mistake. You let them overextend. You let them take the project that is destined to fail, and you encourage them to do it. You hand them the rope and you watch them fail on their own. You do not need to push them. Circumstances will do the work. But circumstances only work if they are standing on the edge. Your job is to guide them there, smiling the whole time. This is the unfair advantage of the smile. The enemy you can see is dangerous. The friend who is secretly an enemy is even more dangerous. Be the friend. Rule 2, the law of information asymmetry. In the age of the internet, everyone thinks they know everything. This is your greatest opportunity because while everyone is drowning in data, almost no one has insight. Data is noise. Insight is the specific secret that changes the outcome. Nathan Rothschild understood this. Legend says that during the Battle of Waterloo, he didn't rely on the public news couriers. He had his own network of private boats and riders. He knew Napoleon Bonaparte had lost a full day before the British government did. While the London Stock Exchange was crashing in panic, everyone thinking Napoleon had won, Rothschild was buying. He bought everything for pennies. When the official news arrived the next day, the market skyrocketed. He didn't just make money. He gained enormous influence. He had an unfair advantage because he had the information first. You are operating with the same information as everyone else. That is why you are average. You read the same news. You watch the same tutorials. You have the same degrees. To become an outlier, you must cultivate awareness in your company. Do you know the secretary? Not just hello, do you know her? Do you know what the CEO is stressed about? Do you know which department is getting budget cuts before the memo goes out? In your market, do you know what your competitors are worried about? You must become a collector of insights. People love to talk. They love to feel important. If you learn to listen, really listen, with a silence that invites them to fill the void, they will tell you everything. They will tell you their weaknesses. They will tell you their plans. Robert Greene teaches that a wise strategist gathers information from all sides, but keeps his own counsel. No more than you speak. When you enter a negotiation, you should already know the other person's breaking point. You should know what they need versus what they say they want. When you know the cards in their hand, you are not gambling, you are calculating. Rule 3, strategic pragmatism, the death of ideology. Here is a hard truth. Your morals are slowing you down. I'm not telling you to break the law. I am telling you to be practical. Most people are rigid. They have principles that are really just disguised fears. I won't do that. It feels like selling out. I won't work with him. I don't like his vibe. I want to win, but I want to win my way. This is arrogance. The world does not care about your way. The world cares about results. Robert Greene analyzes power not to teach cruelty, but to teach effectiveness. He observed that the leaders who tried to be good all the time got destroyed. They were overwhelmed by those who were not good. To have an unfair advantage, you must be fluid. You must be able to wear the mask that the situation demands. If you are dealing with a conservative boss, you become the most conservative, risk-averse employee in the room. If you are dealing with a visionary investor, you become a radical dreamer. This is not lying. This is adaptability. Water has no shape, yet it carves through rock. Be water. Look at the most successful people in history. They changed their political parties. They changed their allies. They changed their philosophies. Not because they were confused, but because the terrain changed. Winston Churchill crossed the floor of Parliament twice. He went from conservative to liberal and back to conservative. People called him a traitor. History calls him the savior of the West. If he had stayed rigid, he would have been a footnote. You are holding on to identities that do not serve you. You are saying, I am an introvert, so you don't network. You are saying, I am a creative, so you don't learn finance. Drop those labels. They are chains. The person with the unfair advantage is the one who can adapt to any environment. Can you sit with a king and be regal? Can you sit with a beggar and be humble? Can you sit with a ruthless competitor and stay composed? If you can only be one thing, you are easy to trap. If you can adapt, you are difficult to control. Rule 4. The art of manufactured necessity. Why do you fear losing your job? Why do you fear losing your partner? Because you are replaceable. It hurts to hear, but it is the truth. If you left tomorrow, the system would pause, and then it would replace you. As long as you are replaceable, you have no leverage, and without leverage, you have no advantage. You must apply the law of dependency. Robert Greene teaches that people remain loyal when necessity compels them to. You cannot rely on people liking you. Liking is a weak emotion. It fluctuates. It vanishes when things get hard. You must rely on people needing you. You must become essential. In every system, there is one point where everything converges. In a business, maybe it's the person who owns the relationship with the biggest client. Maybe it's the only engineer who understands the legacy code. Maybe it's the person who knows where the money is actually hidden. Find that pressure point. Occupy it. Do not reveal every detail of what you know. This sounds counterintuitive. HR tells you to share knowledge. HR wants systems that can easily replace employees. The outlier protects valuable knowledge. You make yourself the only key that fits the lock. When you are the only one who can solve the specific, painful problem that terrifies your boss, you gain leverage. You can negotiate better conditions. Why? Because they cannot afford to lose you. Pressure is the greatest negotiator. If losing you causes them pressure, you hold leverage. If losing you is just an inconvenience, they hold leverage over you. Look at your life right now. Who needs you? Truly needs you? If the answer is no one, you are in a dangerous position. You are a commodity, and commodities are traded, used, and discarded. Build a skill set that is rare. Build relationships that are valuable. Control a resource that is scarce. Make yourself essential in the room. When you are essential, you don't have to fight for respect. They will notice your value. Rule 5, the OODA loop. Speed as an advantage. Most people lose because they are too slow. They overthink. They create proposals. They have meetings about meetings. They wait for perfect conditions. While they are polishing their plan, the aggressive competitor has already moved. The military strategist John Boyd developed the OODA loop. Observe, orient, decide, act. The pilot who can cycle through this loop faster than his enemy wins. If I can react to your movement before you have finished making it, I am inside your timeline. I control the momentum. The unfair advantage belongs to the swift. You are hesitating. You have an idea for a channel, a business, a project. But you are researching. You are preparing. Research is often just procrastination in a suit. Cesare Borgia conquered Romagna because he moved his armies in winter. No one fought in winter. It was cold. It was hard. It was considered impossible. So his enemies relaxed. They waited for spring. Borgia didn't wait. He marched through the snow. He arrived at their gates while they were still unprepared. He won because he rejected the standard timeline. You need to compress your timelines. If you think a project will take a month, do it in a week. If you think a decision needs a week, make it in an hour. What happens when you move at this speed? You break the rhythm of everyone around you. Your competitors cannot keep up. Your rivals cannot predict you because you are moving faster than their logic allows. Speed creates chaos, and the outlier thrives in chaos. When you act fast, you make mistakes. Yes, but because you are fast, you can fix them before anyone notices. The slow person makes a mistake, and it defines them for a year. The fast person makes a mistake, corrects it, pivots and wins all, while the slow person is still filing the paperwork. Be bold, be sudden. Robert Greene teaches that fortune rewards the bold and punishes hesitation. The universe rewards momentum. It punishes hesitation. If you want the advantage, stop waiting for permission. Just move, pause, feel the resistance rising in you. Some of you are listening to this and your conditioning is fighting back. You are thinking, but this sounds manipulative. This sounds cold. This isn't nice. You are right. It isn't always nice. Nature is not nice. History is not nice. The economy is not nice. You have been raised in a sheltered environment protected by artificial rules of politeness. But you are not in that environment anymore. You are in competition with the real world. The sheep thinks the wolf is mean. The wolf does not care. The wolf survives. You have a choice. You can hold on to your niceness and become vulnerable to those who don't. Or you can integrate your shadow. You can become capable of these things and then choose when to use them. We have 2 more rules, the darkest ones. The ones that require you to look into the mirror and let go of the part of you that needs constant approval. Are you ready? Rule 6, the law of strategic silence. The void. We live in a world of noise. Everyone is broadcasting. Everyone is signaling. Look at me. Validate me. Hear me. This is why they are weak. When you talk, you reveal. You reveal your intentions. You reveal your intelligence or lack of it. You reveal your insecurities. Information is power. And when you speak, you are giving your power away for free. The person with the unfair advantage is the void. Imagine a negotiation. One person is talking nervously, filling the silence, explaining their position, justifying their price. The other person is sitting back, watching, saying nothing. Who is in control? The silent one. Silence makes people uncomfortable. They project their fears into the silence. If you don't speak, they assume you are thinking something profound. They assume you disagree. They assume you know something they don't. And so they start to bid against themselves. They start to offer more just to break the tension. Cardinal Mazarin had a motto: simulate and dissimulate, and above all, know how to remain silent. You must train yourself to be comfortable with the awkward pause. When someone insults you, do not react emotionally. Look at them. Hold the silence for 3 seconds. Watch them become uncomfortable. Your silence says your words are too small to impact me. When you have a big plan, do not post it on social media. Do not tell your friends. The dopamine hit you get from telling people your goals actually reduces the drive you have to achieve them. It tricks your brain into thinking you've already done it. Keep it in the dark. Mushrooms grow in the dark. Diamonds form in the dark. Power builds in the dark. Build in silence. Let your results be the explosion. People should be shocked by your success because they didn't see it coming. They didn't see the work. They didn't hear the announcements. They just saw the lightning strike. Be the lightning, not the thunder. Thunder is just noise. Lightning creates impact. Rule 7, the reputation of unpredictability. If I know what you're going to do, I can defeat you. If you are a nice guy, I know you will back down if I press hard enough. If you are greedy, I know I can influence you. If you are proud, I know I can provoke you with insults. Predictability is weakness. To have an unfair advantage, you must be unpredictable, or at least appear to be. Richard Nixon used this in the Cold War. It was called the madman theory. He wanted the Soviet Union to believe that he was volatile, that he was unpredictable enough to make extreme decisions if he was provoked. Because they thought he might be unstable, they walked on eggshells. They made concessions. They feared him. If you are always consistent, people get comfortable. They take you for granted. Sometimes you need to break the pattern. If you are always available, suddenly disappear. If you are always calm, suddenly show a flash of controlled anger. If you are always agreeable, suddenly say no to a small request without explanation. This keeps people off balance. It reminds them that you are not completely predictable. It reminds them that your favor is not guaranteed. Robert Greene teaches that fear is often more reliable than affection because affection depends on the emotions of others while fear creates boundaries people hesitate to cross. I am not telling you to become a tyrant. I am telling you to become respected. And respect comes from the understanding that you are capable of walking away, capable of saying no, and capable of changing the game. Do not be the dog that comes every time it is whistled for. Be the cat that watches, decides, and moves only when it wants to. These 7 rules are the foundation. They are the tools you carry in your pocket. But tools are useless if the hand that holds them is shaking. You can hold the sword of Caesar, but if your hand is weak, you will drop it. You can know the secrets of Rothschild, but if your mind is scattered, you will waste them. The 7 rules gave you the external mechanics of power. But the true unfair advantage, the one that no one can steal from you, is internal. It is the architecture of your own psychology. Most people are building skyscrapers on a swamp. They learn tactics, but they have no foundation. They get a little bit of success and their ego destroys it. They get a little bit of money and their impulses waste it. To keep the advantage, you must become a vessel capable of holding it. Robert Greene is not just a theorist of power. He is a psychologist of power. He understood that the greatest threat to a ruler was not the assassin in the hallway, but the delusion in the mirror. If you're still here, you're not like the others. Subscribe if you haven't.